Hi there, welcome again to my channel. Today our topic is about English 8 Quarter 1 Module 5. This is the part 2 entitled Literature. But before that, if you are new in this channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe, also click the notification bell in order to be updated with my next video, and of course please share also. By the way, I have included in this module answers that are not found in the K2 correction. So habang nanonood kayo ng video na to, dapat nakahanda ang inyong module para masusundan ninyo, and also you should be prepared with your ballpen and your paper in order for you to be able to copy the answers that are not found in the K2 correction. Alright, let us start. Since there is a part 2 of the video, let us start with activity 4, generalization. Let us take a look into another poetry written by another African writer. As we read, let us try to analyze the poem and find out its hidden meaning. Alright, a poem that we're going to study here is The Path of Thunder by Christopher Okegbo. By the way, you should read in your module the poem here because it is somewhat long. So in order for us to minimize the use of time, and we are going to proceed with the answers. Okay, this is the continuation. Now, upon reading the poem, what do you think of the whole context that the writer wanted to convey to us? Give your understanding of the whole context of the poem here. Alright, question number 1. What is the message of the poem? Possible answer: the persona in the poem expresses his feelings of despair. After he was trained to be a warrior, he was brought in a desert to fight a war, but his recruiter left him in the middle of the fight to recruit more warriors. Alright. Number 2, how does the character in the poem or the writer feel? Support your answer with the line of the poem that expresses the feeling that you feel. Okay, this is the suggested answer. The feeling of the character in the poem is sadness and despair. And this is the sample line. Why did you leave me on the paths of thunder? Okay, number 3. What makes African literature stand out? Okay, possible answer. African literature stands out because most of the authors use African cultural background in terms of racial discriminations, tribal wars, oppressions, hardships, religious discriminations, and slavery as their theme in their write-ups. By the way, remove the apostrophe here. This is only a typographical error. What I can do? Check your learning. Read another short story and use the questions as your guide in understanding. The next poem here is The Hands of the Black. This is a short story. And here are the questions that you're going to answer later on after you're able to read the text. Okay, this is the story of The Hands of the Black. We'll just proceed to the last part. Just read this in your module. Okay, question number 1. What do you think the author wants to convey in the story? Okay, possible answer. The author wants to convey that no matter what the race of a person is, they are all equal because the sole of their hands and feet have the same color. This is just only a suggested answer. You may write down your own answer based on your own perception or understanding. Okay, number 2. In your own reason, what reason convinced you the most why the hands of the Africans are black? Okay, possible answer. The hands of the Africans are black because their whole body is black. If the body of the Africans are brown, so their hands should be brown also. Now, let us proceed to lesson 2, identifying the distinguishing features of notable African chants, poems, folktales, and short stories. Let us start with the basic elements of a poem. Okay. Let us consider his stanza. Stanza is a series of lines grouped together. Now, we have couplet. This is a stanza composed of 2 lines. Again, this is a stanza composed of 2 lines. And we have a tercet. This is another stanza composed of 3 lines. And quatrain is a stanza composed of 4 lines. Cinquain is a stanza composed of 5 lines. Sestet is a stanza composed of 6 lines. Septet is a stanza composed of 7 lines. And octave is a stanza composed of 8 lines. All right. Now, what is rhyme? Rhyme is a repetition of similar sounds. Example. Now, take a look at this. Here in the first line, the last word is wood. This has the same sound with the third line, which is stood. Wood and stood. For the second line and the fourth line have the same end rhyme. We have green and sin. They have the same sounds at the end of the line. Now here's the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is a continuation of rhyme, while rhythm is the music made by the stressed and unstressed syllables, and theme is the message of the poem. By the way, I have made a video about rhythm and about meter. You may find it. Scroll down in my YouTube channel to find the video. The title is Poetic Rhythm and Meter. Okay, now symbolism is about symbols that convey ideas. These are the symbols that are found in literary text, say, for example, in a poem. Imagery. This is a device used for readers to create an image that encompasses the 5 senses. Okay. Now, activity 1, distinguish me. Here's the direction. Using the table, distinguish the different features of notable poems, folktale, and short story. We have literary piece number 1. And then here we have the poem entitled I Died Alive by Harriet and Nina. Just read this in your module. And then literary piece number 2, short story. And the title is The Apprentice by Odon Balogun. Again, you just read this in your module, and we are just going to proceed with the questions portion. Okay, now, here is the activity. Complete me. Directions: complete the table below by identifying the distinguishing features of notable African poem and short story. This is based from the poem I Died Alive and the short story The Apprentice. Now, for time periods, this is just only a suggested answer. You may have your own answer based on your own understanding. Okay, for time period, under the poem I Died Alive, old age. For religion, Islam. You may use also Christian or Christianity if that is what you understand. Okay. Next is specific author, that is Harriet and Nina. Genre, that is poetry. Tone is desperate. Theme, this is about hopelessness. Characteristic, it is repetitive, contradiction. Time period for short story, this is invaders era or colonization era. For religion, that is also Islam. You may use also Christianity. Anyway, this is an open-ended option. You may write your own answer here, whether it is Christianity or Islam or Hindu. Specific author, Odon Balogun. Genre, it is a fiction. The tone is hate or hatred, and theme is longing for freedom. And characteristics, fiction but based on factual background. All right, you may copy this in your notebook as possible answer. Now, activity 3, correct me. Write the correct term for each of the following definitions. A story originating in popular culture, typically passed on by word of mouth. Possible answer, folktales. These are short, witty, or ironic statements, metaphorical in its formulation, which aims to communicate a response to a particular situation. to offer advice, or to persuade? Okay, suggested answer, Proverbs. Number 3, a story of fully developed theme, but significantly shorter and less elaborate than a novel. Okay, possible answer, short story. Number 4, a piece of writing that usually has figurative language and that is written separate lines that often have repeated rhythm and sometimes rhyme. Okay, suggested answer, poem. Okay, number 5. These are epithets called out in reference to an object in celebration of its outstanding qualities and achievements. Possible answer, praise poems. Okay, now let us proceed to lesson 3. Appreciating literature as a means of understanding the human being and the forces he or she wishes to contend with. Okay, let us proceed to activity 2. What am I? It says here, a parable is a short narrative making a moral or religious point by comparison with natural or homely things. A parable is also called an allegory, which literally means comparison. Alright, this is the parable. You just read this in your module, and we are just going to proceed with the question and answer portion. Alright, now, here is the activity. Determine the plot of the story read. Alright, what I'm going to include here are only suggested answers. Okay. For title, The Man and the Elephant. Author, Helen Ponce de Leon Ladera. Genre, it is fiction. Place of origin, Africa. Plot, alright, this is optional. You just need to write what happened in the story from the start to the end. You need to use separate sheet of paper for this. And then for the characters, man, elephant, lion, Mr. Rhinoceros, Mr. Buffalo, Mr. Alligator, Mr. Fox, and Mr. Leopard. For the setting, once upon a time, an elephant made a friendship with a man in a jungle. Okay. Now, here is another activity. We have here a group of words that you need to use as answer for activity number 3. From the word pool above, identify those which are similar in meanings. That means synonymous to the given vocabularies. The number of blanks in each column determines the number of the correct answers. Alright, let us proceed. For torrential, the synonym is violent, furious, tumult. For grumble, number 1, agitation, number 2, confusion, number 3, disorder. For heated, number 1, agitation, number 2, furious. For turmoil, number 1, disorder, number 2, confusion, number 3, fuss. Personnel, number 1, staff, number 2, people, and number 3, helper. Alright, I hope you have learned something in this video. Thank you very much for watching. Watch out for my next upload of video. See you again soon.